just like that. How about that for a surprise? Hey, professional angler Brent Chapman here. I want to take a quick moment and show you guys, or talk to you a little bit about where I started and the baits that I feel like are the best to get the job done. So here I am, I'm on our little pond now. It's kind of neat. I've, 20 some years later in the industry and fishing, and now I own my own little pond. But these are the type places I grew up fishing. And most people, if you love to fish, you've got access to some neighbor's pond, a family member, farm pond, or even a little city pond or housing development. Those are some of the best places to fish and learn how to fish as well. What I did here, I've got my new PLANO Edge Flex tackle box here. These are the 5 top picks for what I would consider pond fishing. Just gonna go through them real quick here for you guys so you can see what my thoughts are. First and foremost, when it comes to pond fishing, you cannot go wrong with a spinnerbait. This is a very simple, this is a 3/8 ounce chartreuse and white spinnerbait. There's a variety of spinnerbaits out there, but obviously water clarity has a lot to do with it. So just find what spinnerbait works best for that water clarity. But most ponds are stained to muddy, so you can't go wrong with a chartreuse and white. Next on my list are 2 topwater baits. Everybody loves to topwater fish. And if the conditions are right, some of the most enjoyable fishing you can have. What I've got here is I've got a black frog. Black frogs are incredible. My pond in here doesn't have a lot of surface vegetation in it, so you can still catch fish on a frog, and they're great around laydowns and overhanging trees in the shade. But a lot of ponds you come into, they have that really nasty, slimy surface vegetation that you can't throw anything else over the top of it except a rubber frog. The bites on it can be incredible, and you can catch some really big fish on it. So those areas where you have more open water, kind of like my pond here, that's where a popping bait is real effective. A little popper does great for catching fish. So a frog and a popper are really good, 2 topwater baits that I would definitely have in my box. And then last but not least, and as you can see, I'm kind of picking ways to cover the whole water column. Last but not least are 2 of the day in and day out favorites here. As you can see, I've got some eagle claw hooks and weights here, but what I've got is just a simple, I think this is a 7 or 9 inch ribbon tail worm. There's a ton of them out there, different varieties. This just happens to be June bug, paired up with like a 3/0 EWG style worm hook. Thread that on there, pair it up with anywhere from probably a 3/16 to 3/8 ounce sinker. This is a 1/4 ounce eagle claw tungsten sinker here. So that combination, little Texas rig with a ribbon tail worm, I can fish that thing in a foot of water up shallow, or I can throw it out in the middle of the pond and fish it in as deep a water as possible. And then last but not least is the stick worm. Stick worms have been very popular baits now. They catch fish basically from a foot of water out to the depths. And what's really neat about this bait is I can pair it up with this hook and rig it Texas rig, just like the worm. You can fish it weightless, or you can fish it with a little bit of a weight. You can fish it out deeper that way, or the other way that's really well known is you rig it wacky style and rig it weedless like that, a weedless wacky style, and just shake it below the surface. Day in and day out, very effective there. So there you have it, guys. When it comes to pond fishing or a small body of water, these are the baits you need: a spinnerbait, a popper, a frog, a ribbon tail worm, and a stick worm, and you're good to go. So good luck.